So there we have it. The 24 Hours of Le Mans is done and dusted. Whilst we talk a little bit about the weekend, I'll try and break it down class by class where I can to talk about the top performers and the top stories over the course of the 24 hours. And we'll start off with the hypercars because, well, firstly, it was impressive that Cadillac Heart Team Jota locked out the front row. That was a really good job by them, getting the pole position, getting the front row entirely, showing how much they've managed to develop the Cadillac this year. Because remember, Heart Team Jota were running Porsche 963s as customers last year, and they've stepped up to be the Works Cadillac campaign. They were the strongest Cadillac outfit over the course of the weekend. Now, they were obviously beneficiaries of the misfortune that befell the Whalen and Wayne Taylor Racing badged entries, but at the same time, they made it to the end. The 12 was the last car on the lead lap, 5 cars on the lead lap at the end of it, and 38 was only 1 lap down. Given all the different stories that we had throughout Hypercar, including things like, pit limiters not being synced up properly, it's a good result for anybody who was remaining on the lead lap. And even for the cars that didn't stay on the lead lap, I mean, the number 7 Toyota wasn't on the lead lap this time round, but they were close to staying on it. They were, 15 seconds behind the 83 at the end. Bear in mind, we only had, was it 1? Was there a second safety car period that I missed? I'm pretty sure there was only 1, right? So we were ridiculously close, 10 laps off the distance record with cars that are meant to be much slower than the old LMP1s were in 2010. It's incredibly impressive. It's a really good job by all of the outfits that were able to still run at the end. Especially considering that most of the issues that befell teams were not necessarily accidents, they were typically more likely to be mechanical issues. The winners in LMP2 were the number 43 Inter-Europol car, who finished, 18th overall? They managed to beat a few of the hypercars where they had reliability issues. There were 2 LMP2s still in the lead lap of their category. The VDS Panis Racing finishing a minute 55 behind them. Then 1 car a lap down, the AO by TF, Spike. Yeah. Then 2 laps down, the number 9 Iron Lynx, the 29 TDS, and the number 11 Proton entry. There were some things that were good for the LMP2 class, and it's the ones up the front who were fast, dependable, reliable. There are other cars that just had bizarre issues. I mean, we saw one of the most unsafest of rejoins, didn't we, early on? We saw cars backing into walls. But I think more of the drama was reserved for LMGT3s. Because if you look at the LMGT3 field, you can just look all the way down the order and you can see some people just had absolutely rotten luck. Number 88, for example, who only completed 46 laps before they were out. The number 60 Iron Lynx, 57 laps. The number 80 United Autosports, number 19, 5 United Autosports with 80 laps. Perhaps the unluckiest manufacturer in the entirety of Le Mans, however, was BMW. Team WRT ran the BMWs in LMGT3 and in Hypercar. In Hypercar, there was a stage with, 2 hours to go or so, maybe even an hour to go, where you saw both the 20 and the 15 in their pit boxes. Just rotten luck to see. What was even more rotten luck was what you saw happen to the 2 LMGT3 cars. The number 46, the car gave up after 156 laps. And then 12 laps later, the 31 for the Bend was in pit lane. They did a hair. And yeah, that was them out. Now in terms of the LMGT3s up at the pointy end, It's a really good win for the Manthey First Form 92. I mean, I know they did really well last year, the Manthey team. They just dominated the LMGT3 category. But at the same time, for Richard Leeds to pick up, what, a 5th class win at Le Mans or a 6th? That is almightily impressive. And good job by Ricardo Pera and Ryan Hardwick as well. They should all be really proud of that result. There were more LMGT3s on the lead lap than LMP2s on their lead lap, with the 4 that were on the lead lap, all different manufacturers as well. 21A, of course, the 81TF Sports, the 27 Heart of Racing team, who I'm pretty sure it was them we saw doing the overtake on the 87 Akotis ASP. Wow, that was an impressive move. It was so well timed. It was, what, around the outside in the chicanes? I was almightily impressed by it. Yeah, the Akotis ASP and Manthey cars were both trapped a lap down at the end of the race. And then after that, the top 10 rounded out by the TF33, the Kessel 57, the remaining Proton of 77, and then the AWA 13 with a massive maple leaf on the front. It was nice to see the one-off cars performing really well, like the Richard Mille, for example. But yeah, at the same time, some rotten luck for some of the cars. But I think we do need to have a question about BoP again. Because this is the 3rd race in a row, right, where they've had a different way of measuring BoP. There was alterations that were applied for Spa, and Le Mans has its own unique thing. I think that's where the question arises, right? Because it seems a little bit Ferrari International Assistancy to see in the Hypercar class, 3 of the 5 cars that finished on the lead lap were Ferraris. In fact, had it not been for, you could argue, self-inflicted issues on the Ferrari cars for the 1551, Ferrari should have gotten a 1-2-3. I mean, number 6 was impressive to fight for the win, but the pace wasn't as much there as it was for the prancing horses. It was good to see Cadillac stay on the lead lap, but you can understand why Toyota have so much of an issue with the balance performance when you look at the number 7 being a lap down. Because you look at it and you go, okay, they were a lap down. The Alpines, they made it to the end this time, were 2 and 3 laps down. Peugeots, granted, Paul di Resta did try and rapidly disassemble one, were 3 and 8 laps down. The new for this year, Aston Martin's 4 and 6. Can't really talk about the BMWs because, like I said, the LMGT3 section, they had such rotten luck. But it's not all down to the drivers after those 24 hours. Part of that is down to how the cars have been bopped. And it will be. It won't necessarily all be decided by setup. There will be some minutiae different within the setups. And that'll be across the 3 Ferraris as well. But I would wager that a lot of the time, because these are all professional athletes at the top of the sports, could be made up by having the BoP adjusted in certain ways. Because Ferrari have great lineups, right? But there are other manufacturers that have world champions in their lineups for Le Mans, or even for the full season in WEC. So it's not that the other teams just don't have the same drivers. I mean, look at the Toyota crews that include multiple FIA world champions, some of which are still active in the disciplines where they picked up their championships. And that includes WEC. But yeah, it's a shame to say this because it's been a good Le Mans. It has. And it has looked more balanced than previous years. But there is going to be that question going away from it. And in a golden age of hypercar racing, of these endurance races, just more generally, don't really want that to be happening. But either way, it's really nice to be able to say that Project Debate has now got one of the elements of the Triple Crown. That is really nice to say. And from there, I do want to ask, was Le Mans the best of the Triple Crown this year? I think there is a good case to say yes. Going into the race, we suspected Ferrari were going to be at the front, but we didn't know. And qualifying made us second guess it. Now the race played out differently, but the qualifying made us go, ooh, could we maybe see a different manufacturer win? In addition to that, commentary and broadcast was excellent as always. There are a couple of glitches, but you're going to expect that in a 24-hour race. And yeah, Monaco had to try and bring in a new manipulated element to make the race more interesting. And all it led to was the Williamses parking the bus and George Russell doing the funniest thing and getting a drive-through for cutting the course. Somehow was quicker than just sitting in the Albon train. But yeah, Indy was good in some places. I think for whatever reason people felt less of it because the guy who'd been dominating to that point in the season, Alex Palou, won. But I thought it was an mightily impressive win. I was surprised by how much of a role Hybrid played in it. So I don't know, I think it was the best. I don't think it was because the other ones were necessarily bad. I do think Monaco was probably the worst of the Triple Crown, and the Indy 500 was in the middle of it. But yeah, I don't think I have much more to say. So in that case, let's just wrap it up there. Thanks for watching and joining, folks. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And until next time, it's bye for now.